Today we're going to try to fix this center console on this 2006 Trailblazer. Now mine had the same problem as this thing right here. The whole lid's kind of like fucked up. Big gap right here. It's not latching right. Now a common thing people say is that when this little titty right here breaks off, that's the cause of the console not closing, but it's not really the case most of the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out what's causing this. We're going to try to fix it. We've got a couple screws that hold the console in, and they're usually underneath these rubber inserts right here. So we're going to pop them out first. Some screws in there. And down at the very bottom, we got some screws in there too. So this 06 is not like my 03. My 03 has a little torque screw on the side that holds the shifter in. This 06 actually has the torque screw on the back of the handle on my 03 Trailblazer. My shifter does not have StabiliTrak button, and the bolt that holds the shifter on is on the side. So if you go right there, that's it. This is a T15 torque spit. You don't want to lose that thing. You are recording?
Yeah.
Alright, so I got my fancy trim tool here. We're just going to go down into the shifter. It's just got these little snaps, and once the trim tool goes in, it pushes in the snap enough to pop it out. You see right here, there's a little electrical connector. That's for the traction control switch. I'm going to use my mini pick just to kind of pry that little retainer back, and then using my third hand, unplug the connector, and that lets the shifter slide all the way off. We've got a 7mm socket, little extension, awesome ratchet. Just gonna take these screws out. And then they kind of flip the script on us because all the ones in the bucket are Phillips head screws. I'm going to double up the extensions here just so I can get down in here to get these little guys. And then I got these two right here. Just gonna take my magnet and hopefully these little screws will come out without much fuss. Now, way down in here, we got two more 7mm screws. There's one on each side of this duct. So we're gonna bang these puppies out too. So I guess that means they flip the script and then they unflip the script.
I think it's more trying to make it hard for people to do it themselves.
Pretty much. Mr. Magnet once again. In the back of this console there's like the heater controller that sits on the back there so that people can have heater AC, and this is the connector for it right here. Now the connector's kind of like got one of those little Christmas tree fasteners that hold this piece of steel.
No, what he's doing is kind of reaching from underneath. Doing a reach around. Sorry.
You're alright. There we go. Fuck yeah. So this connector's kind of funny because it's got an unconventional kind of retainer to it. Kind of really need two hands under there to pop it out and then down, and then it just unplugs. I hope we can get a better way of showing that. Hey, don't be a dick. Alright, so we find any money in there? No. Some French fries.
Oh, disgusting.
Oh, there is a French fry.
There is a French fry.
totally
No,
didn't
I
see-
thought you. I
did
thought
not
that.
see
Oh, you're
that.
joking. Yeah, there's a French fry there.
What I was kind of doing when this was plugged in, I was kind of pushing the sides out. So you're kind of pushing the purple part of the connector away from the gray part, at the same time pushing the purple part, you know, flipping it around like that.
Right, so it clears.
Yeah, but it was hard to show what I was doing when I was just squeezing on it. I don't know if I have anything cool to say about that. Actually, yeah. The shift locker, so it's like it won't come out of park right now. If you push that in, you can actually put the transmission in neutral without the key or power to it.
So why would you want to do that?
Think of a good example. The one guy had, the battery was dead and it was in his garage, and I guess from however he had it parked, he couldn't even open the freaking hood of the truck. So he took the shifter off by itself and was able to get like a screwdriver or something down here and push that in to put the truck in neutral.
So you can push it out of the
Push
garage?
it out of the garage and put a jump box on it. Yeah. Just a little bit of patience here. There you go. I don't know how good you can see this on that camera, dude. But if you look right up in there.
Yeah, it's hard as fuck to get in.
Yeah. When I push down on the console, you can just see that something up in there is broken. And that's what we gotta try to fix. But that's what's giving us our play right there, which is what's giving us our gap in here. I'm just going to take this controller out of here, squeeze the tab down, pull him out. So we're going to try to take this duct out of this. We've got one Phillips head screw.
So remember, this is the console unit that we took out of the car and is now upside down. And this is the air conditioner unit for the rear.
Well, it turns out that I wasn't being as rough as I should have been with this. It was actually these corners were getting held up on these little, I guess, raised sections. Once I apply a little bit of force to it, it was no problemo. So now this comes out of the way. And we'll get this guy out of the way. This is where the problem is for this console not closing. We've got these little plastic welds that should look like this guy, but instead they've broken off and now they're just this. So what we're going to do, just going to take a little drill bit and kind of drill some pilot holes, even though there are already holes in here. Then we're going to take some screws to actually screw it down into the console. Yeah, so really you're kind of looking at the console upside down right now, and we've just ran fasteners in where the plastic welds had broken off. So that's actually the fix for the loose lid. We also found some unrelated stuff, like this plastic weld right here. That's kind of how it should look. Right here, the head of it broke off. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put a fastener in there once we get the other parts of the console back in. It's just one of those deals where you don't really know what all you're going to get into until you know, get it all apart. Alright, so now it's time to put this bad boy back together. Got our screws in here. So we're just going to wedge this duct back in here. On our travels, we did disconnect this. This is the little door inside to change it from floor to the vents in the console. Let's plug that guy back in. And this is what sucked coming apart. And of course, we've got to do it again. And it's really just kind of forcing this duct thingy into place. Oh, dick. And I don't think you could see that last part, but I was just lining up the duct that went from the vents up into this piece. It's not really like a pressure fit or anything, it just kind of just like sits in there. So we've got our one Phillips head screw, kind of holds the duct in. Now you notice that since we were already there, we knocked this plastic weld off and put a screw in its place. I mean, hell, we were already here. Might as well fix it now before it breaks. So I think that's it. Hey, bud. Wow, I'm way off here.
Yeah, it's getting on my side. I think squeezes together. There you go.
So just like when I took it apart, I kind of got to hold this thing up while I plug this connector back in. Wow, that sucked. Now, it was really hard to show what was going on in there, but I was basically putting the connector back together and then getting it back lined up and put back in that bracket right there. So the rest is just a matter of putting the fasteners back in and the bucket in the console. Cool. I'm just going to drop the bucket back in here. Put our 6 fasteners back in. So we're going to clip this in. Clip this in. And that little screw we were not supposed to lose. We still got that thing. Maybe right in the back of the shifter handle.
Door handler would be on it. Good.
We don't have our gap there. So what do you think, man? I mean, is it better than it was before?
Yeah, every time I was accelerating before, the thing would fly open, and then every time I'd stop, the thing would shut close.
Okay, okay.
So now we're all set.
I have to get some additional footage because, like, a lot of times I kind of forget some fucking things. My 03, you can see This console lid, it's like tighter than Kathy Lee's facelift, you know what I mean? So closes fine, and it also doesn't have the little titty right here. My 03, it never came with this little titty, and this had the same repair where we used the screws in place of the little broken plastic welds because it's a shitty fucking design console. Well, in the service information, there's nothing about repairing this. Basically, if the console has a problem, you replace it. So you take out one piece of shit console and put in another piece of shit console. They're not really addressing the problem. Fuck it, beef it the fuck up. Make it more, I guess, fucking stout, if you guys like big words like some of you guys do. Make it more stout. Make this console more rugged. Make it more apt to leaning on and shit. But you actually shouldn't lean on this because it's a piece of fucking shit and a little plastic piece in here will fucking break. It's going to be its own other video itself because mine's broken too. But guess what? It doesn't fucking bother me, so it's not really a priority right now. I repaired on mine, shit, probably 2 years ago, still holding up good. And I don't know if it's going to be any different in like the Trailblazer EXT or the Envoy XL or any of them because I don't know how their systems work. I've never really had to take one apart in one of them because they really didn't make that many of them in comparison to the regular short wheelbase Trailblazers and Envoys. So if there's a difference there, well, you can like leave me a nasty comment or something and it won't matter because comments are off for this video and life is great. Well, there you have it. We're going to do some other shit on this 06 Trailblazer, so stay tuned for more. And as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to my shit.